On the News Channel 5 network, this is OpenLine.
Monday night, and it's time for OpenLine. Hi, everybody. I'm Rhori Johnston. Welcome to News Channel 5 Plus. Thanks so much for tuning us in. Hope you had a great weekend and a great start to your week, even though it was a little bit rainy out there. And if you were watching earlier, Ron said, yeah, it's going to continue throughout the week. But keep an eye on News Channel 5, of course, for the latest forecast. Tonight, a great topic. We're going to be talking about international adoption, the broad topic, and some of the challenges and the rewards. And what better people to bring on to talk about this than Mike and Haley Jones. You probably heard of their names before, and they are now the authors of this book. It is called At Any Cost, Overcoming Every Obstacle to Bring Our Children Home. And also we want to welcome Julie Bolles. I said that right?
That's correct.
Okay. International Adoption Coordinator for Catholic Charities. We welcome you all. Thanks for being here. Mike and Haley, take us back, because I remember your story, obviously. Give me a little bit of a timeline when this all began. Mike, when did this start, this journey that got you over to Sierra Leone? Let's just start out with, you have two biological children of your own.
That's correct.
And did you just wake up one morning and say, honey, I think we should adopt? How did that come about?
We'd always had on our hearts adoption, and talked about it when we were dating, and it's just something that it was always just a seed that had been planted in our hearts. And so we had some rough times having our first biological child, and so it was something we checked into, and you know, that's how the process started. And we kind of put things on hold when we had our second child, and kind of came back around to looking into adoption again. And
your biological children, boy, girl, what?
We have two boys.
Two boys. Mm-hmm. Okay. How old are they right now?
6 and 10.
6 and 10. Okay. So you decide to tell me about the progression now that you decide to, okay, we're going to start looking into adoption, and how you end up now with the Jones dozen.
Well, I don't think anybody wakes up and thinks, you know, let's go adopt 8 siblings at one time. So that's definitely not where we came from at the beginning. We knew we wanted to adopt. We thought we'd adopt one child, and you know, just felt like we could do more than that. You know, we could do more than that. There's so many sibling groups, so we'll look at siblings. We're thinking, you know, 2, maybe 3. But God kind of had other plans, and how we got to the 8 was really, I can just say it was divine intervention. It was really just God. That was just kind of our calling and our purpose. But adopting 8 is not for everyone, so that's not something that I would say just go out and do. But that's just kind of where we were led, and it's been quite a journey. That journey started basically when, and then how long before that day that we know when you brought them home?
Yeah,
2010.
Okay. And they landed in the airport on March 19th of 13.
Yeah, so 3 years.
3 years. Mm-hmm. And fittingly, the title of the book is At Any Cost, because you probably had no idea going in.
Absolutely not.
That where this 3-year journey would take you, how long it would take you, and the struggles and the obstacles that you would face.
That's correct.
Was there a point, and we're going to get into some specifics throughout, and also talk with you, Julie, about this. Was there a point where you just, you know, you kept hitting obstacles where you just said, maybe this isn't what we're supposed to be doing, you know, and then you questioned that. Not question your faith overall, but question, wait a minute, what are we doing, and what does God want us to do, and all of that?
Yeah, with adoption, there's always numerous obstacles. It's not a road for the faint of heart. It's definitely, you know, we always say love is a commitment, it's not a feeling. And so we were something we were committed to, and there was numerous ups and downs, like you said, throughout the journey, but it was definitely something that we were called to do.
We never questioned what we were supposed to do, but definitely questioned the timing, like, why is this taking so long? Just like we said, every time you'd hit a roadblock, you'd have to kind of start all over again with process there in Sierra Leone. So it's kind of one thing after the other, and definitely a lot of heartbreaking times, for sure.
Tears shed.
Many tears shed from everyone, the children, us. It was definitely a long journey.
How did you meet your children in Sierra Leone?
I kind of got connected with this organization. I taught a little girl who was adopted from Sierra Leone. I was a kindergarten teacher. So it was through that relationship with that family that we got led to the specific orphan center where they are and to those 8 children. And that's how it all got started.
Wow. Julie, overall, tell us about what your role is with Catholic Charities.
Sure. I direct an international adoption program. So I work with families just like Mike and Haley who are desiring to build their families through adoption, talk with them about adoption options, and specifically my expertise is in international adoptions. So we talk with them about where in the world that they may be feeling led to adopt and what adoption looks like in those different countries. I'll explore with them their ideas on what they feel like their family might look like, and so that sometimes helps to steer them in the right direction. I help with the home study, the process with immigration, the paperwork that's involved.
And the paperwork.
The paperwork.
Yeah, it can be quite a bit, and really depends on the government and the country.
Correct.
Where you're adopting a child. Talk a little about that, and what are the more popular areas of the world that are maybe easier?
Sure.
And then the ones that aren't so easy.
Sure, that's a great question. I've been working in international adoption for 15 years, and countries kind of ebb and flow in regards to their openness for adoption. So over the years, I have seen different trends take place. I've had opportunity to work in 34 different countries, so I think that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
So I've gotten to see a lot of different processes, and at this point, seen thousands of children come and be united with their families. Each country does have its own unique process, and we learn about that process through working with those governments, and then those processes change. So what I tell you today might change 2 months from now in regards to the paperwork that's involved.
Wow. I hear China.
China is a very popular country. It's probably the most popular country. We're doing a lot of work in Sierra Leone right now. We're doing work in Bulgaria and doing work in Poland, South Korea. Those would probably be some of our most popular countries.
Let's focus a little bit on West Africa, that area. You know, we hear so much about the conditions there, about corruption, government corruption, violence, and what young children, especially boys, have to go through. Was there a point in this process where you were genuinely concerned about the safety of these kids?
We were really fortunate that the center where they were living was just run by great people. And so we were very blessed with that. So there was a lot of concerns that we didn't have to have. But at the same time, it's still an orphanage, and you're still in a third world country. And so as a parent waiting to get your children home, it's a heartbreaking situation. And we did a lot of traveling over there, and I was over there weeks at a time, months at a time. So you'd spend time with the children, and then I'd have to leave them behind. And so there was just always kind of that constant roller coaster ride of emotions and worrying about the children.
And at the same time, you're building a bond.
Yes, I always say that was the blessing in disguise for this. The 3-year journey there was just moments of it that were just torturous for me, but we were able to build that relationship with them, and we were mom and dad long before we brought them home, and I think that's what really helped with the transition for sure.
Mike, what happened with these particular children and their biological parents?
The remote fishing village that they were from, there was a ferry accident where they were trying to take goods into the capital city, and so their father died on that, as well as uncle and cousins, and just a lot of people, and even women and other small children from the village. And so it was just a tragedy that happened, and through their mom and their family, they were just they made the decision to send them to the orphan care center.
Right, and give them a shot at safety and a better life.
Yes.
Right, which is what they have now, no doubt about it. All right, we're going to take our first break, everyone. 737+ if you'd like to call in. We want to share a lot of information with you. Of course, we're going to hear more about the Jones story, and we want to offer you some advice if you have some questions. 737+, we'll be right back.